In this video, I am going to talk about your right to be secure against an unreasonable search or seizure, and how if the police do not follow the rules, how you may get your charges withdrawn, even if you appear to be guilty. The rules that I am referring to are in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which is part of the Canadian Constitution. The Charter explicitly lists out the rights and freedoms that every Canadian has, and these rights are taken very, very seriously, so much so that you may get charges against you withdrawn. Now, I have a video just about the Charter that I suggest you watch to get some more details about the Charter. Now, for this video, I want to discuss Section 8 of the Charter, which provides that everyone in Canada has protection against unreasonable search and seizure. Now, here's the rule that the police must follow. The rule says the police cannot just search or seize your property unless they have what's called reasonable and probable grounds that you either committed a crime or were in the process of committing a crime. And a mere suspicion or gut feeling, that's not enough to justify a search or seizure. And if you're not under arrest and the police searches your property and they find something incriminating against you, the police cannot use that evidence and the charge may get withdrawn. So let me actually give you an example. We had a client where we use this charter right to get the charges withdrawn. And let's call this client, for this example, John Doe. Now, John Doe was in a park, and the police officer that arrested John thought he saw John do something suspicious. Now, we received the evidence of the disclosure from the Crown, and it was clear that the police officer had a suspicion that John completed a drug transaction. John was carrying a backpack, and the officer approached John. The officer demanded John open the backpack, and the officer, in fact, found drugs, and our client was charged with possession. Now, here's where the charter comes into play, and here is where the officer did not follow the rules of the charter and made a big mistake. The officer cannot approach John and ask to see what's in his backpack. The officer would need to have reasonable and probable grounds to believe that John either committed a crime or was in the process of committing a crime. In this case, and the evidence was clear that the officer had a suspicion. Really, this officer, he had a gut feeling that something illegal happened. But a gut feeling, a suspicion, does not meet the threshold where an officer can search your property. And this has been litigated in all these cases in the courts around this charter issue. So in this case, the fact that drugs were found and that were illegal drugs, that evidence is actually not admissible because it violated John's charter right protection from an unreasonable search or seizure. And in this case, we were able to get all the charges withdrawn, and our client was able to walk away as if nothing had ever happened. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel so you can watch more of the same.